So we started this project. The idea came to me. I wanted to do something. So what I came up with was the idea of having 12 artists, different people, photographers, people different from different disciplines, to interact with my head and to sort of interpret what I was going through. And so that's what happened. That's what happened. Not right at the beginning, but so in a way, to start with, I was sort of describing how it felt when I learnt that I had cancer. And so this first exploration is about, oh my God, it's me now. I'm it. I'm the one who's got it. I'm diagnosed. The word is out. And so that my first thought was that really is how to describe that, and looking at the cancer gene. But this whole series to begin with is really the start of the project, and I always imagined at first it was about things on my head. At the end of the day, it describes different situations that I was going through. For instance, like the ladder, and hearing that you've got, while you're waiting to find out, you're waiting in corridors, you're waiting on chairs, you're waiting in the waiting room, you're up this stair, then okay, your name gets called, you're in there. So the whole idea of the ladder was that really, just waiting, find out. Then we go into a sequence which is so much information. Now you got it, and you've got so much information is thrown at you from every different angle, and so you're trying to make a decision. Your mind's going crazy with, you don't know what it means, what it's going to be like. Are you going to survive? You don't know. So we did these series of cartoons in relation to that, which were like thought bubbles and how you feel when all this is going on in your mind. Then we go, it comes a period sort of towards the middle of the chemo, when you, with a drug called oxytocin in particular, where we projected material onto my head from the blitz. And really what it is looking at is the destruction, this poison that you're very aware that you're putting poison in your body and that it's doing a job, but it has a lot of effects on your physical being, and not easy. So that's the middle. Now there were some shots that in between that do, there are different points where it reflects back and forwards, and this one, for instance, was also like the sea, the big sea, but was about, I feel like I'm dragging myself around. This series was based on 17th century Thanatos idea of looking at the transience of life. Death must come into it somewhere, and how do we relate to that? Well, let's look at it. The whole project is really about, let's look at it and see what it's all about, and how can we visualize this. This series is about, will I recognize myself at the end of this process? Where am I? Where am I up to? It's starting to get towards the end of the chemo, and there is a question about how will I come out of this experience? What's going to happen in the future? But where am I now anyway? What's it going to be like when I come out of this? Then this series, which is the icing series, is about taste, about celebration in a way, coming to the end of the chemo, looking at the whole brain idea, the melting the brain, the circuitry, how you deal with all this stuff going on, your responses, your emotional responses, and also the idea that I would love to be somewhere else, not here at this point in time. But taste, the taste, you lose that during chemo. You can't taste anything, can't taste the food. And so, icing, mind you, we never ate it. I have to say, sugar, not too much. Just a bit of fun as a modelling material. So, and the last sequence is subsequent to the chemo, when my hair was starting to grow back. The idea of going back and tending what's happening, and watching the grass grow, watching the hair grow. So all of this is really diarizes what happened to me. And as I'm looking at them now, I'm thinking, actually, I like all the pictures. I don't want not to see any of them. We've put them in different contexts. But the idea is that it is a creative process whereby you can look at actually what is happening and explore it, for better or worse. And in the creative act of doing that, of engaging with the process, and also engaging with the people in this instance, that you can come to terms with things easier, and that it's useful maybe to see the creativity as an aid to healing, almost a necessity for healing, that you need to be able to create another future, create another idea of yourself in this world. So that is why, and also as a process, maybe it explains it in a non-written sort of a way, that it explains it in a more of a fun, sometimes quirky, sometimes sad, or humorous, as the case may be. And that's it, really. That's Hadecase Project.